Do I have anything in my teeth? Hey, I'm Adam Paddock, and this is the same interview the second year.
Today is December 18th, 2020, and I only know that because I just released a song, Tattoos.
Today is December 18th, 2021.
I currently have 3,085 followers on Instagram.
Right now, I have 3,675. My most liked picture is actually still the same one when I announced that I was releasing my first song. Last I checked, yesterday, there were 7,150,000.
There are 2,770,000 results.
The most followed person that follows me, I think, is Gable Price. He has like 13,000 followers or something like that.
The most followed person that follows me was JP Sachs. And he had I think he has like 250,000 followers, something like that. He did unfollow me, unfortunately.
That was a brutal day for sure. Yeah, JP Sachs was by far my most followed person on my Instagram and TikTok, but it's okay. One day we will be homies. The most famous person on my phone is for sure Alexander23, which is kind of insane because I signed up for his text list and then we just he actually answers it. I definitely have texted him because I was like, yo, send me a picture because I don't believe this is actually you. And it was him.
Oh, I would say probably the most famous guy is Brian Spunt. He's the CEO of Seek Discomfort.
2 nights ago at Nationwide Arena, I sang the national anthem for the women's volleyball, NCAA volleyball semifinals. So somewhere between like 12 and 15,000 people. And something similar for that when I sung at Lower.com Field with the Columbus Crew. In terms of my own music, Express Live for sure was the most. I opened for Waka Flocka Flame and Max, which sounds like a lie, but it did in fact happen, and I think there were about 2,000 people there when I was performing and opening.
Well, and not in a worship setting, I would say for my music, probably only 50 or so, and I was at a gig last year, so nothing huge.
That's insane, from like 50 to that. I mean, there's something to be said though about those tiny shows, because even if it's like not an official show, you know, that's where like real connections actually begin. And I think that I've made actual friends from those shows rather than Express is more of a like, you're a face rather than a person. So the best show so far is for sure the Express Live show. I was not expecting as much love as I did get, and I had never played with a full band. And so that was definitely the best show, rehearsing with the boys and just working with a team to make sure it all came together. So that was definitely the best show.
The most fun gig that I've done was with this band. One of my buddies, Adrian, he asked me to sing with his band, and we sung for Toys for Tots. So it was so much fun.
Yeah, that one has come so far. That's crazy. That show was fun because it got me in connection with Adrian, and he played drums with me for the Express Live show. It feels like a little bit of local fame to the lowest degree, you know, but it happens. I've been walking by a stranger before, and they were playing my music, which is a cool sign of the direction that we're going.
At Ohio State, it happens way more than I anticipated. Some of that is because of music, others I think is just because of my involvement. But at Ohio State, it happens pretty often. If I go anywhere, I'll run into somebody I know, or somebody who knows me.
That right there sounds so egotistical. That like somebody who knows me. That was for sure just starting in music and being recognized for that. Something that I'm like really proud of, rather than just being like a person. That shows some growth right there. Right now, I'm in a place of so much uncertainty, finishing college. So I think in a year from now, I'll probably be in the midst of a ton of change. And I think my advice for myself will be to keep going, and people still love you even in this new place.
In a year, I will tell myself, all of these projects that you are working on right now are worth it, and the self from 2020 says keep going, because the response so far has been huge, and I hope that Adam doesn't lose sight of like the amazing people that made every single song actually go down and be responded the way that it was.
Now that the first year has gone by and I'm seeing the people who actually stick around, the people that helped make those songs actually happen are some of my best friends now, because I've continued down this endeavor of musicality. And so even the people that I've written about are still as close, which is so sick. If you know, you know. The artists that for sure inspire me the most right now are Jeremy Zucker and Blake Rose. But those guys inspire me so much in terms of their production, and they're not that much older than me, and they are in the shoes that I want to be filling in the future. So seeing that it is possible, those guys are two that I really look up to in songwriting, production, and just the way that they seem to live their lives. And I have met Blake very briefly. We've DM'd a handful of times too, but at the show I got to get a picture with him and everything. And I've not met Jeremy, but one day, and that would be a dream. That would be a dream for sure.
Jon Bellion, Ben Platt, and Jeremy Zucker are my three biggest musical inspirations. Vocally, Ben Platt, no question. He's my favorite vocalist. Jon Bellion and his production, just insane. Next level, something that I aspire to be. Jeremy Zucker has a beautiful balance between like the alternative music that I listen to and the pop, and he's exactly one of the directions that I want to go. So actually Tattoos was heavily influenced by his style. I have not met any of them yet.
I remember last year recording that and just being in such a phase of like branding, who am I in music? What direction do I want to go? Who do I care about? How do I care about an audience and everything? And I remember having that answer down pat, because so many people are like, oh, which direction are you going? Who do you want to be in this? I think I've come to realize I need to figure out who I am in relation to them, but who I am first and what I enjoy making. It's easy to say like the Waka Flocka concert because it grew so much awareness for like me around campus and everything. But I think over the past year, the collaborations that I've done and like the networking that has happened with the people like that I have known make music that I've just like never reached out to, or just completely new people to my life, those have been the biggest impacts in my career, because those people really have made one of the biggest differences in the way I make music, the way I think about music, the way I listen to music, and just the network that exists. I feel much more supported rather than going into it alone, for sure.
The JP Sax thing was huge, I would say. The experience on American Idol was huge too. It was encouraging to know that I think I could do this. Oh, my favorite movies, no question, are Lord of the Rings. I can't choose one of the three because you need the trilogy to enjoy it all, but Lord of the Rings and The Prestige are up there for me.
I'll die on those two, for sure. That hasn't changed, and I highly doubt that it will have in the next year.
I do feel pressure. I think it's because of a lot of different things, being in college and now having this be the thing that I'm known for by a lot of people. I would say, yes, I do feel pressure, for sure. I think I do. I've had to get so good at planning and just making sure my days are efficient as possible. And without that, I think I would have crumbled. And I think the people around me are the things that prop me up the most.
Wow, that's real. I think I still feel pressure, just in a completely different way now. I fully see myself as an artist at this point because of just like the steps that I've taken, the time that I put into this. Like, I had more insecurity about that in the past. Now I feel more pressure because college is ending. The security blanket that is a campus is going to leave soon. And so I think I feel the pressures of like real life per se, more than I feel the pressures of, oh man, what is my reputation? I'm seeing that like building a brand is kind of a business and all of those little influences. So yeah, I do feel pressure, just in a completely different way. Do I handle it well is a great question, because I just plan everything in my life out to the minute, to the T. I do have a girlfriend now. I'm so anxious to see what I said last year, but I do have a girlfriend. She's actually behind the camera right now.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I do not have a girlfriend right now.
Oh wow, that was quick. I said I don't have a girlfriend right now. After I was like writing all of those songs about her in that time. That's insane. I was so short about it because there were so many emotions.
I would say that my biggest regret, no question, is starting music as late as I did, because I started my senior year of high school and I just thought it was something that wasn't for me or wasn't cool, and now it is the thing that's given me the most life.
Yeah, that's for sure still true. Absolutely. Like, in high school, I did not think that I was the type of guy to be part of a show choir or sing or any of that. That's still my biggest regret. I wish I would have started when I was so young.
It's that you can find community and find growth in so many things as long as you run after it wholeheartedly and with everything you have.
The biggest thing I've learned through this is, like, I always talk about community, but the further I get into this thing, the more I value the smaller group that is so invested, rather than, like, I think there I was trying to cast my net wide and everybody loved me. And now I'm like, all right, like, I see the people that do, and I value those relationships so much more.
Someone made an entire interpretive dance to Milky Way from Russia. So I think that might be the craziest one, getting that notification that my music was being used out there.
Yeah, when Authentic came out, I was on campus, I was hanging out. This guy came up to me, he pulled his like earbuds out and he was listening to Authentic that day. I didn't know who the guy was, but like that stuck with me because it showed like the name is getting out there and the music is getting out there, which is so important to me. My dream collaboration is still John Bellion. I haven't even seen my answer, but I know it's going to be that. John and I would be homies. So I think that's my dream collab.
John Bellion. My dream collaboration is John Bellion, no question.
I think Australia is up there. New Zealand would be sweet. Italy. I love South America just because of Spanish and everything, and I can hold my own in that regard. Let's see if I can still do that a year from now.
I'd love to visit Tuvalu. It looks insanely beautiful. It's literally a tiny country. It might be a mile long, maybe a half mile wide. I think it would be cool to be a part or just see a minute of that microculture.
Jeremy Zucker is probably the biggest influence, or like who I'm listening to, my favorite artist right now. Just the deeper I dive, the more I love his production.
It's a tie between Jeremy Zucker and Blake Rose. Blake Rose, just because he doesn't miss, he makes bangers. And Jeremy Zucker, because his production and the fact that he's a DIY guy, I think Blake is too actually, they are for sure two of my favorite artists right now.
It's not hipster, it's a little bit indie. The flannel or the like button down over a t-shirt with either blue jeans or black jeans and blazers has just kind of become my staple, mainly because I don't have many stylish clothes, and so it's my go-to. It's definitely being refined. I would say it's emotional, wholesome. It's part of the brand, baby.
My style of music, because I do not have style for clothes. Intentional with my lyricism, and I think that's where I'm trying to go with my production. So intentional, chill. Almost all of my music, other than a handful of songs, are chill. And then thirdly, uplifting, I guess, because most of my songs have a super uplifting message, and that's how I want it to be received.
I'm still in the process of refining what my sound is. Working on it. I generally try to absorb styles from like JP Sack. I love how he writes. My approach to it is generally coming up with like a line or two, something that pops into my head, and then putting chords to it. Generally, I start with a phrase or a concept.
I think the best songwriter is the one that is the most aware, because they can take in things real time and process them, and people want in their music, they want processed emotion. So I think being so aware at all times is the best approach to songwriting.
Good answer, Adam. What am I going to do right after this? I'm actually going to a buddy's commissioning for the military, so good on him. And then I have a bunch of new music to make, which is going to be found in the new year. So that's where I'm headed after here.
Right after this, I am going to go hang out with the boys. We're going downtown at one of their houses. We're going to hang out. So, savoring those days.
I said the boys. Get hang with the boys. Last year we shot this in my dad's basement. And this year we're at the Newport Music Hall. If that does not show growth, that's freaking ridiculous. I'm Adam Paddock. Thanks for tuning in. This is the same interview, year 2. See you next year.
Nice. We're good.
Yes! Woo! This would be so cool to look back.